Good morning, grade 7 students. I hope you are doing well. Today I'm going to continue chapter 3, Respiration in Living Things. Please open your books page 50 on activity 2, Respiration in Aerial Medium, part 1. Please, can you remind me what is respiration? Define respiration. Respiration is the process by which oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released. Give examples of living things that breathe. All living things breathe. However, I will give you some examples. Fish, frogs, horses, humans, insects, dogs, etc. Do you think all these living things depend on the same organs in respiration? Of course not. For example, the fish uses the gills to breathe, while frogs use both the lungs and even the skin. We will see how. What about horses and humans? They use lungs. Respiration consists of an inhalation and exhalation. What is the difference between inhalation and exhalation? When living things inhale, air rich in oxygen enters the body. However, when they exhale, air rich in carbon dioxide leaves the body. This permits the renewal of air. Look at the picture, for example. Here, this schematic representation represents the exhalation and inhalation. Breathing out represents exhalation, while breathing in represents inhalation. So both inhalation and exhalation permit the renewal of air. This allows oxygen to be absorbed and carbon dioxide to be released out of the body. What are the three types of respiration in aerial medium? There are three types of respiration in aerial medium. When I talk about the aerial medium, this is the medium that has air. So the first one is the cutaneous respiration, the second one the pulmonary respiration, and the third one the tracheal respiration. In case of cutaneous respiration, gas exchange occurs across the skin. This means that oxygen is absorbed across the skin and also carbon dioxide is released across the skin. The pulmonary respiration, this type of respiration occurs in the lungs. For example, humans and horses depend on the pulmonary respiration. What about the tracheal respiration? From its name, trachea. Gas exchange occurs in the trachea. This type of respiration occurs only in insects. Let's talk about the cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous means skin, so this is the respiration that occurs across the skin. Some examples of living things that depend on the cutaneous respiration are worms. A worm absorbs oxygen gas and releases carbon dioxide through its wet skin. Look here. So oxygen is absorbed from air to the blood through the skin, while carbon dioxide is released from the blood to the air also through the skin. So this type of respiration occurs across the skin and its name is cutaneous respiration. Another type of living thing that depends on the cutaneous respiration is the frog. The frog is an amphibian that lives in both water and on land. In the water or even on land, it can depend on the cutaneous respiration, which means that oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged at the level of the skin. Oxygen is absorbed from the water or from the air to the blood, while carbon dioxide in the opposite direction, and these two occurs at the level of the skin. However, we all know that frogs have lungs. So frogs can depend on another type of respiration called the pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary means lungs. So the pulmonary respiration, gas exchange takes place in the lungs. Where does air pass to reach the lungs? Does it pass in several organs? Of course, yes. For example, here we will discuss the ducts and the organs found in humans. So when we inhale, air rich in oxygen passes through the nose, then to the nasal cavity, pharynx or the throat, then to the larynx or the voice box. Then air reaches the trachea, also known as the windpipe. Here, the trachea divides into two bronchi, singular bronchus. And each bronchus divides into smaller bronchiole, like a tree. These are branches of the bronchi. And what do we have at the end of the bronchiole? Tiny air sacs called alveoli. As you can see here, the trachea divides into two bronchi, and each bronchus divides into smaller bronchiole, and at the end of the bronchiole there are tiny air sacs called alveoli. Alveoli play an important role in the exchange of gases between blood and the alveolar air. So again, as you can see here, this is the bronchiole. At the end of the bronchiole, we have tiny air sacs called alveoli, and the alveoli are surrounded by blood. Why? To allow the gas exchange. So alveoli are surrounded by tiny blood vessels called capillaries. How does gas exchange occur at the level of alveoli? Blood coming from the cells is rich in carbon dioxide. This gas is a waste and toxic, so it must be eliminated at the level of alveoli. Therefore, carbon dioxide passes from the blood to the alveolar air. In addition to that, our body cells here need oxygen to survive and to produce energy. Where is oxygen obtained? Oxygen is also obtained at the level of alveoli. So, this gas passes from the alveolar air to the blood and then transported to the cells. This is how gas exchange occurs at the level of alveoli. So, briefly, carbon dioxide passes from the blood to the alveolar air, while oxygen passes from the alveolar air to the blood. This is why when we exhale the carbon dioxide. Today's session is finished. Please, I want you to copy this conclusion on your copybook and memorize it. Thank you and see you soon.